Hello everybody, my name is Ryan Kronenberger, and today I'll be giving my video review on the movie Sandlot 1993. I'll clarify, I've seen this movie before as a kid, and I've rewatched it as an adult in the past week, and I've got to say, what an amazing movie. It definitely holds up from the last time I saw it. There's a few scenes I actually didn't remember, um, and I actually think if you haven't seen it in a while, especially if you were like me, rewatch it. Just go ahead and rewatch it, and then I would probably come back and watch this video. But anyway, let's get into the review. Let's just go briefly over what it's about, what's the summarized story, just so we can start diving into what I really enjoy. So we know, in the summer of 1962, Mr. Scotty Smalls moves to a new town with no friends, and he only has his mom and his stepdad. Now, of course, the Sandlot boys who he meets end quickly into befriending him, especially Danny. They play ball together. They go out and have fun around town. They teach Smalls how to play ball because he comes into that with pretty much no knowledge of how the game works, and they teach him everything. And in turn, Scotty not only gets friends, but he gets memories, and that's kind of what the movie is. It's Scott Smalls' memories, pretty much being presented to you because he's telling a story. And there's other characters that are very notable, mostly Mr. Myrtle, the adult, Smalls' parents, the lifeguard at the pool, which Squint gets to kiss him through CPR. Anyway, the end of the movie is what really makes it shift from a memory to the present day. If you notice throughout the movie, it's paced as different scenes of the memories of that summer of 1962. And at the end of the movie, it cuts back to Smalls as in the present day, as an adult, watching Danny, of course, play ball for the Dodgers. And I really did enjoy that part, mostly because it kind of gave you some closure of what actually happened to those two, because they were probably the closest in the group of anybody else. Said, the movie is mostly about the kids. The kids are the movie. They're on screen the most. It's what the plot of the story surrounds by, about the summer of 1962 and the amazing things the kids saw, such as Danny's smashed ball, Squints' kiss, Smalls' first home run with the Babe Ruth signed ball, their multiple attempts at trying to reach the ball over the wall of the Sandlot away from the Beast, and in all of those scenes, it takes you back to kind of like when you were a kid, and if you ever lived in a neighborhood like I did, you also kind of remember these kind of childhood experiences where you just got together and you did random stuff with a bunch of other boys, and that's what you did in the summer, You didn't sit inside and play video games. That's not fun. There are memories to be made that cannot be digitized, and I think that's kind of what the movie shows, is that there are memories to be made anywhere and everywhere with anybody. Now, of course, I will say, oh my goodness, are we for real? No, we are not. I will say the main characters I paid attention to are Smalls, the main character, Ham, the big guy, Danny, the great hitter, Grover, bit of a joyride, I think, Timmons brothers, who are very smart and very good with their hands at building stuff. And of course, I think the favorite bit about the Timmons brothers is the fact that Tommy repeats everything Timmy says. I love that. Yeah, he's kind of risky, and he gives Squints a very hard time throughout the movie, especially about his crush. And of course, Squints is hilariously famous in the movie for being in a field of bungee jumping. And of course, one thing some people don't know who is a character toward the end of the movie is Smalls as the narrator. It's his older self narrating the events of The Sandlot in 1962. And I think His perspective is important because although he probably knows deep down inside that's not exactly what happened, he remembers the specifics, the keys, the core memories of the summer of 1962, and and of course, and if you've watched the movie, you know that he actually went and tried to follow up with all the buddies at the Sandlot, and everybody went different directions. This is the only scene at the end of the movie that shows that two characters from the Sandlot days stuck through, which was, of course, Danny and Smalls. And it's kind of sad to me that we kind of didn't see the other adult versions of the characters. I would have really liked to see what they look like, uh, especially Ham and Squints. I would have loved to see them. Anyway, let me get back to our character reviews. Kenny, who is here, you might remember, is the picture of the group. Kenny doesn't say a lot in the movie. I honestly think he should have gotten more screen time, as he kind of just doing whatever the rest of the group's doing. If they're obviously playing ball, he's pitching. If they're trying to get the ball back, he's help lifting a pole that might have the glove with the vacuum on it, or he's running around with the rest of the boys at the pool as they swim. Like he doesn't really get a lot of engaging lines, and I think they could have given him a little bit more. And of course, the last one I really liked was Squints, and Squints is pretty crucial throughout some of the story, as some of the scenes revolve entirely around him. The pool scene specifically, and of course, during the many missions to get the ball, he is the one with the makeshift telescope that goes over the Sandlot wall into the junkyard, and it's made of, I believe, wheat bins boxes. Um, and it's real snarky. A real, like I said, boys kind of boy. There are many high points in the movie, and there really is only one real low point. And it's debatable if it's a low point. But if you know about the sequel, 2005 sequel, Sandlot 2, then you would understand why it's kind of a low point. Anyway, I think some of the best high points in the movie were Smalls' first catch. If you look too, it's kind of cool because you can already see where he's got hit in the eye by his stepdad trying to learn how to catch. And so he's just praying. I mean, he's just praying he gets that. Kind of funny to watch. I only played baseball for a year. But so somebody who knows that's not probably how you should catch a ball, I think it's pretty cool that he caught it. Of course, I also really liked Squint's scene here at the pool. Now, it's pretty funny to me that he went through that entire plan to fake drowning to get her to do that. And I think the fact that the rest of the group genuinely believed that for a second was funny. But then, they give him the whole sly dog at the end when they got kicked out, and she's flung Squints out later while they're at the fence before they leave the pool. She does give him a little bit of a shade acknowledgement that, hey, it's kind of risky what you did though. And of course, the scenes with Myrtle, rest in peace, James Earl Jones. I mean, it's just to hear his voice again was awesome. And when he gives that better ball and talks, they end up finding out, him and Danny end up finding he's a player, played for the Pirates and played with Babe before going blind. I think that's an amazing story. And it was kind of cool to realize that eerie Mr. Merle with the scary beast dog is just kind of a humble old baseball guy who's just trying to live his peaceful life as best as he can with his dog. And of course, the funniest, I don't know, one of the funniest scenes had to be, because if you're adult, is that scene at the carnival and they end up throwing up because of the nicotine sickness because they've never had such a thing, and all they do is shove giant wads. Like, this is one of the many things of why tobacco advertising has quickly stopped being in sports, because that most certainly probably did happen in 1962. But I want to show you the best scene of the movie in my opinion, and that scene is actually at midways through the movie. Hurry up, Father. It's gonna be a short game, and I gotta get home for lunch. That's one. It's not, Dad, because I please you.
I'd shave his butt and tell him to walk backwards. Is that your sister out there in left field? Naked. Snake. Shut up, Porter! Hey, baby! I'm just trying to have a little friendly conversation. Come on. Think she can go out with me? Come on, show your stuff. You got it. Thank you. Thank
One thing I'd actually like to show you guys, if you remember in the movie when they do the signature of Babe Ruth over the new ball, to trick Smalls' mom into not thinking that he's lost the ball. You remember the signature wasn't quite really that exact, and it wasn't supposed to be, as Danny said, it's supposed to buy time. I figured I'd give my shot at Babe Ruth's signature. The top is my first attempt, bottom is my second attempt, and I suck at cursive. I can't even really sign my own name that well. But I am kind of impressed with this. I definitely cannot be one of those people who fake handwritings to make money, or fake signatures to fake money. Definitely cannot be me. So there also are some very notable quotes in the movie. Almost all of them, in my opinion, come from the character Ham Porter. His most famous being "You're killing me, Smalls." The thing he says to the team captain, saying "You play ball like a girl," to upset him, actually ended up causing the game between the two teams. Of course, what he says to Danny after Smalls hits his very first home run, it's unfortunately was with the Babe Ruth signed ball that was Smalls' stepdad. And of course, what he says to one of the hitters, saying that his face is so ugly that had it been his face on his dog, he would rather his dog walk backwards with a shaved butt. Pretty funny. Of course, Squint has a very notable line relating to the thing he did at the pool, which was trick the lifeguard into giving him CPR so he could kiss her. And, damn it! What doesn't it say? There we go. Sorry about that. I've been trying to get that to work for about 30 minutes. Anyway, as you might remember, Squint tricked the lifeguard, and when they ask him about it, if he had just done that in the moment, or he had planned that, he says, "Of course I planned that, I've been planning it for years." Kind of lets you on a little insight about him and how he's very meticulous and determined. Now, to end this video, I'm going to give some of my final thoughts on the movie and what I took away from it. So, I know that the movie is not a full-on fiction. It's based in reality, in a real town, and with kids that play a real thing. But, I mean, the events of the story are described as childhood events, and as you know, you don't always remember things from your childhood the same way. And I think that's kind of what the movie's supposed to be. It's just not supposed to be accurate. It's supposed to be a little silly, a little exaggerated. That's the movie. You know, it's supposed to be a nice little, for the most part, family-friendly movie to watch. You know, why else would you want anything if that's what you came to watch? And of course, the film, in my opinion, is a pop culture icon and a 90s cult classic. And if you disagree, I just don't think you've watched enough movies, or you just haven't watched this movie. Um, the fact that we even have the iconic line, "You're killing me, Smalls," across generations now. I mean, people from the '90s were obviously saying it. Kids from the 2000s are saying it like me. And I'm kind of scared that maybe the Gen Alpha will be the generation that starts to forget stuff like that. I'll try to make sure my kids watch The Sandlot, because it definitely changed my life when I watched it. And even if you watch it as an adult, um, there's still things you can learn from it: friendship, persistence, um, teamwork, and of course, if you know in Smalls' case, honesty is the best policy. If you've enjoyed my video, thank you. If you didn't enjoy it, thank you anyway. That's all I have to say about this movie, and have a good one.